Hello, welcome to Hillary's Whiskey Lounge. I'm Hillary, and this is my whiskey lounge. We're going to explain this little guy in a couple minutes, but today we're going to be doing a tasting of this classic Islay called Bruichladdich. I know it's spelled kind of interesting. It's pronounced Bruichladdich. And it's on the island of Islay, that's Islay, in Scotland. It's on the western, it's a Hebridean distillery. It's on the west coast of Scotland. Islay is more known for having very peaty and smoky whiskeys, such as Laphroaig and Lagavulin and Ardbeg. And if you're into peaty and smoky, eventually you're going to want to go to Islay. But this is one of the few distilleries that actually will produce a non-peated, also the other one being Bunnahabhain, which we will do at some point. But I thought this would be a good whiskey for you to try out, especially being from Islay, being also very straightforward and palatable, especially to a beginning whiskey drinker. Now, Bruichladdich does have a sister distillery called Port Charlotte, and they produce a whiskey, a smoky and peaty whiskey, but we're not there yet. So let's start with this Bruichladdich. So let me show you what it looks like in the glass. Nice and amber, honey colored, and this is a special Bruichladdich etched glass. Yay! I'm going to add the water now to it. So let's just see how much. It's bottled at 50% ABV, alcohol by volume. So I'm going to want to add maybe at least 5 milliliters. Whoa. Give it a nice gentle swirl. Maybe you can even see the water swirling around in there. So we'll see. It's always better to start off with less water and then work your way up. So while this is sitting here, and because Bruichladdich, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it when we do our tasting, because Bruichladdich is a craft distiller, they are very straightforward. There's no chill filtering, no artificial colors in this. We are probably going to see our Scotch mist in there. So, excuse me. While that Scotch mist is developing in our Bruichladdich, our classic Laddie, I want to just talk to you about the weird things from my whiskey lounge today. And this is something that you can start looking for to add to your whiskey lounge to give it a little character and a little kookiness. And what those are these porcelain and ceramic decanters that once held some sort of liquor. Not all of them hold Scotch. This is kind of a 50s, 60s, 70s thing where a lot of these distillers were selling these little decanters. This one is a double whammy because not only is it a decanter, but it's a West Highland White Terrier, right, Julie? This one is actually put out by Royal Adderley Bone China, made in England, created exclusively for James Buchanan and Company, Glasgow, Scotland, 1970. So this is kind of a little vintage antique here, and the poor thing's little head comes off, and there's the cork in there. And I was doing a search on, I think it was OfferUp. It was OfferUp or eBay, or I think it was OfferUp one day, and I found this actually from a nice lady in West Covina who lives near me. So that's cute little Westie. Here's one that I found at our favorite thrift store. That's just a generic Scotch holder. His head's coming off. I don't want to hurt that cork. So this is just a generic Scotch holder. What people would do in the 70s and 60s and 70s would be just to buy their own bottles, and then they would have their own decanters. You've probably seen those really pretty crystal decanters. These just add a little whimsy and character. This one is made in Japan. Okay. And then here's one that was actually made from a Scotch company. This one is called McGregor's Pride. This one is from 1958. I looked it up. I got it from my favorite thrift store as well, and it doesn't say anything else except that it's federal law forbids the resale or reuse of this bottle. But that's all I really know about it, other than it was made in 1958. So that's kind of a, oh, where's, oh, the cork is here on his head, on the top of his hat. Now, I've already shown you this little haggis. This was just a part of a series from Ben Eagle's whiskey, probably in the 70s. So this is our little haggis guy, showing you him already. This is not Scotch. This is actually Irish gin, and this is the the Drumshanbo Gin Company from Ireland. And I'm not going to take it off here. It's connected by plastic, but this is where the stopper is, and so this little guy just pours out. Yay! It's full. And then the last one I want to show you. This one I actually bought on auction. This is a Suntory. I don't know how old this is, but it looks pretty old from, if you can see the label, the Suntory label. So this is Japanese whiskey in here. But the cute thing about this is it's a nice little sheep. It's a cool little sheep. And it's full. The Suntory company also makes a really cute kind of monkey flavored, yikes, monkey looking decanter, which is really cute too. So see if you can look for that. Hello. Hi, little one. Yeah, there are too many things on the table here for you. Okay, bye. Okay, so those are the decanters, and like I said, they're just a fun little thing to add some whimsy and character to your whiskey lounge. Whether or not if you get a full one and you drink whatever's inside of it, doesn't matter. And you can find these really anywhere. A lot of thrift stores, secondhand shops, eBay, OfferUp. You might find something just down the street from you, which is where I found this little guy. Okay, all right, let's see how our Bruichladdich is doing. Let me tell you a little bit more about Bruichladdich. Again, this is a distillery that's on Islay, which again is known for its smoky peaty whiskey, but this one is not peated, so it's a great whiskey for beginners. It is bottled at 50% ABV, so a little stronger for us. Bruichladdich is a progressive, really forward-thinking distillery. They try to do what they can for the community, for the earth. There's this nice little QR code that talks about their commitment to the force for good, a business that is in the force for good certified. You can even, I'll go to that QR code for you to pause this, and you can check that out and see what it is. They do have some organic as well. Okay, and as a special bonus, I have this Bruichladdich, which my son picked up for me in the airport in Sydney, Australia. And this is what is called a travel exclusive. So they only will sell these at airports. So you can't buy this. This one is actually specially extra matured in Fernando de Castilla sherry casks. So I wanted to show this one to you as well, that it also is probably good for beginning Scotch drinkers, or to grow your repertoire, but you have to be traveling through international airports to find something like this that's called a travel exclusive. So you won't be able to find it at your local whiskey store, whiskey shop. However, the color of the one that's slightly more matured in a little of these sherry casks, if you want to get a little more raisiny flavors, darker flavors, the color is not really that different than the original Classic Laddie. So if you're sort of scared about what these sherry casks are going to do, try to find a whiskey that has sort of a sister that is light, honey, amber colored, and you might find something that is a slightly more sherry flavored, but not too much, not too heavy. So we're going to try both of them. I have to add water to my sherry. Okay, so let's see how the Scotch mist is doing. Anything there? I can see a little through this ring light. I don't know if you can. But it's there, it's there. And again, remember what non-chill filtering means is that a lot of the, what others would call impurities or particulates, things like oils, those remain in the whiskey for a better mouthfeel, a better flavor, which, you know, one day do a test between something that's chill filtered and something that's not. And maybe we'll do that one day here at the Whiskey Lounge. So let's give this a little sniff and a sip. It's very light. It's very summery. It's got a nice honeyed aroma, very floral. Speaking of floral and honey, what Bruichladdich does is they are very attentive to the grain and barley. They use the grain and barley from neighboring farmers. They don't have it imported, as far as I know. They do all of their production and even bottling in-house. So talk about a craft integrity presentation. Very light, very, very floral. All around very nice, light, happy, summery arrival, development, and finish. Really nice. It's 50%, so ABV, so it's got a little bite to it. In fact, I might add just a tiny bit of water, tiny bit more. A couple drops. You might see those little pipettes, whether they're glass pipettes or little plastic pipettes when you do a whiskey tasting at a bar, let's say. They might have a little pipettes. Don't feel self-conscious or afraid to fill that pipette up a couple times and put it in your whiskey. It's your whiskey. You drink it how you want it. All right, let's mix this around a little bit. I can see some great legs there. Oh, that's perfect. Now, this is a great testament to adding some water, giving it a few minutes to wait, testing it. It might be a little stronger than you like it. I added a little bit more water, and it's absolutely perfect. I could work on this glass for the next couple hours if I want. By then, there'll be a lot of Scotch mist. That is really nice, happy, sunny, quite a nice whiskey for the summer. And the great thing about this Bruichladdich Classic Laddie is that it's available at every specialized whiskey shop. Okay, shout out to High Time in Costa Mesa and Mission all over Los Angeles. I particularly love the Mission liquor in Pasadena, so shout out to you guys. Okay, let's have a sip of water, and then we're going to try the sherry. Let me show you this label once again. So it's basically the same thing as the Classic Laddie. It's just been extra matured, and they don't say for how long it's been matured. Actually, they probably should use the term finished, which means that it hasn't been fully matured from being young whiskey in a barrel its whole life. That's what we call matured. But finished is when it's been put into a fresh sherry bottle, a fresh sherry barrel, and given a year or two to finish, or months or up to a couple years to finish. So this is the little information about the sherry casks from Spain. All right, let's try it and see what the aroma difference is. So the original Classic Laddie has that nice floral, sunny, honeyed aroma. And this is the sherry. Oh, wow. It still has that nice, sunny, happy floral aroma, but it's somehow deeper. I smell something like a toffee or raisins. That just gives it a little more depth, a little more character. And it tastes almost a little sweeter than its sister here. It does have a little bit more depth, a little bit more character. This is a great, great whiskey. Thank you, William. This is a great, great whiskey to introduce yourself to the whole world of sherry casks, because as you can see, the color is still really light, except you are getting a little bit more depth and distinction from those sherry casks. That is really quite good. I'm loath to finish this. I don't want to finish this up because this is, I cherish this bottle that my son brought back for me. But the regular Bruichladdich, this is all over the place. You can enjoy, you and your friends can enjoy this as much as you want, but drink responsibly. All right. So there you have it. This is again Bruichladdich, the Classic Laddie, 50% ABV, bottled in Islay, on the Isle of Islay, but not peated, not smoky. All right, let me grab my little Westie again. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in and staying this far. If you can, please hit the subscription button and like this video. And please leave me a comment if there are any other little cool whiskey room, cave things, if you will, whiskey lounge items that you would love to see that I might have, that you might have, that you can share with me. Any cool decanters or things like that you have found. That would be great. Please leave a comment. Thank you so much and have a great day.